We've got a couple of other sisters here. Raina and Gina grew up in a gang-infested neighborhood as well in San Bernardino, California. They had to make some tough decisions. We're going to find out what they have to say to these twins who are at a very interesting and important point in their lives. We'll be right back in a minute.
Cleo. Come on, let's go.
Some people call the movie kind of like a go on and clap if you'd like to. Absolutely. We're talking about the new movie Set It Off today, and there's some people liken it to Thelma and Louise meets Bonnie and Clyde meets Waiting to Exhale. Either way, it's one of the few times I think that we've seen a group of women who have shown, 4 women who are very close friends, very loyal to that friendship, but also who've made some pretty poor decisions. Sisters Raina and Gina grew up in a gang-infested neighborhood in San Bernardino, California, and they were just telling me that, you know, they could relate to real-life situations of Set It Off, much like LaTracy and LaTiffany were just telling us about. You guys had to make some tough decisions that actually saved your lives. Those decisions came in your life just in the nick of time. Paint a picture for us. Was your life anything like LaTiffany and LaTracy here, who talk about gang banging, who talk about packing pistols, who talk about aggravated assault? Can you relate to these girls?
Well, yeah, I mean, you grow up in the neighborhood. It's something that you grow up into, you know. It's all around you. It's more or less, it's just the way life is. It becomes a way of life, you know. Not so much as a decision, but it's everywhere you turn. You turn this way, it's there. You turn that way, it's there. You know, so it's everywhere, and kind of you just do it.
So how, when you're in that situation, because the twins were saying the same thing, that this is the way it is, this is the way my neighborhood is, this is the way my friends conduct themselves. But if they don't make a quick decision to stop behaving and living that way, they're not going to provide a good future for the baby that's coming, not even to mention for themselves. You girls at one pivotal point stopped and took a look at your surroundings and said, I've got to make a better life. What was it? I mean, how do you make that? That's a lonely decision to make.
You get tired, you know. Friends are always getting locked up, or always get, I mean, you have friends that get shot 13, 14 times, stabbed, and, you know, I mean, all my friends, they were all having kids and having babies, and the fathers then are never around. They don't want to have any part to do with the kids, with the mother. Half the time they're denying it. It ain't even theirs, it's someone else's. And you know, and then I seen, you know, because my sister, she changed her life first, and then my mom and my dad, and I was the only one. It's more or less I was alone. I was by myself, you know.
Still out doing all those gang banging and all that kind of stuff.
So I got tired of it.
Got tired of it.
Yeah.
How did you, let's talk to your sister first. You know, how did you first make that decision to say, I'm not going to do this anymore?
Raina, me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, for me, it was basically like she said, I was tired, you know, because it is true. Like, I know over here in the East Coast, because my sister's over here now, gangbanging is not, you know, popular out here. A lot of young people aren't into that, whereas in the West Coast, that is how it is. Unfortunately, you know, that's just the thing to do. People are at literal wars. Our city was in a literal war. And, you know, basically it's like I always had a desire to do good, like the movie, you know. Some of the girls had a desire to do good and to get out, but it's like you feel like you can't. You know what I mean? Like I can relate with, you know, her over there saying she wants to do good, but she can't, you know, because you try to change and you just can't. But I got to the point to where, you know what, I'm tired. You know, when I was like 15 years old, I just started reaching out, going to different places, getting in the phone book, calling teenage hotlines, because I was already tired at that young, I mean, it's a very young age, but I was already tired. I didn't even want to go on with my life anymore if it was going to be this way. You know, I saw my future not good at all, nothing to look forward to. And I believe deep inside that, hey, that just because I was brought up in the ghetto doesn't mean that I have to be like this, that there is a way out. But
that's right.
I wasn't finding that way out. At the age of 16 years of age, a lady took me to a teenage counselor. This lady was a Christian woman, and she referred me to the Victory Outreach program. That is what changed my life. It was the Lord Jesus Christ, you know, that changed my life.
Rena, look at Tracy there and LaTiffany and tell them, I mean, speak to them girlfriend to girlfriend. One of the things I like to do on this show is we adopt each other in a strange way. You be my friend, I'll be yours. I'll be your big sister, you be my little sister. Take a little sister or two right here and just talk to them for one moment.
You know, I could relate to a lot of things like what you were saying. You know, when she was talking, in fact, it made me want to cry because I remember the pain. You know, and that's what it is, pain, you know, when you're brought up in that type of situation. Because I was there, you know, I didn't want to be that way. But of course, you don't go around letting your friends know you don't want to be that way, because then you'll be stupid, you know. You have to still act hard and act like you're partying and everything's fun. But down deep inside, you want to change.
We didn't have to do it. Well, we did it because we wanted to do it.
Yeah, we didn't have to do it either, but we wanted to. I mean, it's fun. The truth is, there is fun. There is pleasure in doing drugs and partying, but the consequences are not fun.
There was a lady over here who, what did you just say? Come here.
Say that because, you know what I'm saying, you're saying that on TV. You're going to end up having young kids see, oh, yeah, it's fun. And they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to go steal a car now, you know? I want to know what you
say. Can I finish, please? It is fun, but the consequences are not worth it. That's the thing. The consequences are not... It's just like drinking.
Excuse me, but you cannot say that it's fun. You need to rephrase how you're putting it, because drugs are not fun. In no sense at all.
Okay,
it's dangerous.
I think what she was saying was that as a teenager getting wrapped up into that, it's something fun to do. But after a while, when your life starts going down...
It's just like people who drink, okay? A lot of people drink, right? When you drink and you get high, it feels good, the buzz or the high that you get. But it doesn't feel good when you have a hangover in the morning. That's what I'm trying to say.
The consequences of your choices. Right. Very quickly, very quickly.
Well, it's tougher now for youngsters nowadays because it's getting harder and harder, and there are some practical solutions out there for you guys, and you have to know where they are. And you don't think that you can go to college and get yourself together, but you can, because I used to run with a bunch of hood rats myself. And I always like to tell people I got friends in prison and Price Waterhouse. And I took the opportunity to turn my life around, and I'm also trying to give back. I wrote this book called Making It Through College, and I'd like to give it to LaTracy.
Go right ahead. You believe in her.
I believe in her, and it's important that you get your stuff together. And if anybody else is out there, they're interested in turning their lives around, they can call 1-800-625-3486.
1-800-4ROSE show. We'll be right back in a minute with more from the stars of Set It Off. Guest exploded onto the movie scene only last year, directing the sleeper hit Friday, starring Ice Cube. Well, today, director F. Gary Gray has exploded onto the scene this year with Set It Off. I'd like you to welcome the director of the movie, F. Gary Gray. Gary was just talking to me during the commercial. He was saying, like, now listen, this is not a gang movie. It's not a gang movie. The four girls are very close friends in the movie who make poor decisions. They are not a gang, even though we were talking with LaTiffany here, who she and her sister are very concerned about their lives wrapped up in gangs and some of the decisions that they may have to make. This movie was quite a movie for you to take. What was the message? What was the point that you wanted to make sure that the audience got?
Well, you know, my whole thing is I want to make good entertainment. You know, I don't want to sway away from the fact that, you know, I'm a creator first, and, you know, I'm a slave to my art. And I make movies for different reasons, but for entertainment first. And I think that when we look for, you know, solutions to our social problems, we should look to our parents, we should look to our politicians, our leaders, and put a lot of energy and focus into those, because I think that in looking to movies for solutions to community problems, it's kind of sad. It's really sad, you know, and Set It Off has a message. It has more than a few messages, actually. And
like?
Well, I think that sisterhood is one. Friendship is another. And sticking with your friends through thick and thin you know, and at the same time, crime at the end of the day doesn't pay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to say something to LaTracy and LaTiffany too, because you know I grew up in the same surroundings. I actually grew up in South Central, so I had my dealings in with gangs and stuff like that. But at a certain age, you have to realize that you're a product of your choices.